One, two. Right there, going into that cloud. Three. I have to go to the other side. Let's show you four. Four. And there's one that's going to come out the other side because I saw it go in, but no biggie. I'm just going to throw this out here. Just wanted to show you what I mean about Mineral Street days of Mineral Street.
Sure, but you gotta go look. You have to go because you won't look. If you go and look, no, if you go and look, you'll be able to decide that for yourself. But if you're gonna say that the government, all they could ever do, they could ever, that's worse. They wouldn't be able to do it. Well, if you wanna, what? They do. They do all the time. That's the whole point. The reason why those countries have no water in their desert is because we want them to be a desert. The reason why we want tornadoes to go to Tornado Island, right? To go down Tornado Isle every year, then we know we have to look. Well, let me finish. Then we know if we look here or actually look for ourselves, what we see is that, gee, it's kind of funny because every time we burn down California, within the next 2 to 3 weeks after we burn down California, over here we get a fucking tornado. Huh, that's weird. So every time when we look at when you follow the electromagnetic current all the way around, you see that this is how it's all working. Say, okay, so if I drop all my minerals here from Canada all the way down to the ends of the United States, then I know that I can build up a storm by dropping all these carbons in the sky, right? Yeah, pretty simple. The Indians were doing it. I mean, the Native Indians of 1,000 years ago only were already doing it. And that's when I told you and Eddie that day, and Eddie gave us the rain dance story, remember? Yeah. They do. They do. They do. No, they do. We do. If they wanted to. No, whenever they wanted to. We could do it right now if we wanted to. If we want to raise the waters, we just change what we're doing. But we're not going to look at what we're doing and say that it's in God's hands and Mother Nature. How about just skipping them all until you have evidence of something, right? Until you have some real evidence of one, then you can show it as evidence. Because they really found dinosaur bones, but they never have. this, and she's having a baby. Watch her go out. Oh my God, it's a Ukraine emergency, right? So they make it look all bad, but when you think about it, that's the stupidest thing to do. None of the other buildings have been hit. None of the other hospital areas have been hit. It's one area. So wouldn't it make more sense to bring the lady one fucking room over where it's not the bomb, having a baby, make sure everything's okay? That would be the normal thing to do in a war condition. And it's just stupid. We believe the shit that we see, and it turns out, after they shows up to Stevie, that same story, 3 days later, Fox News came around, extracted what they put on, and they said, it's actually prove that that comes out of the air. They're saying that, the proof that we showed she's an actress, she works for the FBI, she's an actress, she knows military, have pictures of her walking with her and all this.
And nope, they won't look. I tried. I don't know if the camera picked up any of the family conversations, but they all walked away. It's amazing. It really is. It's fucking amazing. They will not look. Trying to see the time, 31. But I mean, it's like that with everybody. It's not just my family that won't look. It's everybody. And it's all right there for us to see. And you have to start with what I'm showing you. I do anyway. Because everything being lies. There's just too many arguments. There's too many things to argue about with everybody. You know, they hear things that are going on in Ukraine, and they're going by what liars are telling them, you know? They're not looking at things for themselves. So my uncle was talking about Alex Jones getting sued by one of the families. And I cried over that whole situation for 3 years myself. And as I grew and awakened, you begin to start to look at things in a different way. First of all, just assume that everything is a lie first. And then go look before you waste any energy on your mirror neuron feeling bad about things that may not even have happened. So what I just told my father and my uncle when we were talking about that is, first of all, Alex Jones getting sued by another CIA Illuminati Freemason that's supposed to impress everybody. Don't pay attention to it. It's kangaroo court. It's bullshit. It doesn't even matter if the money exchanges hands, because it's one hand washes the other in that business, you know? The business of lying to everyone and dumbing everyone down. So who cares that one agent handed off 160,000 or whatever it was to another agent? Big fucking deal. I don't, you know, but they don't understand that everybody, all these people are agents, and that they're all on the same side. That's why, rather than argue with it, trying to show everybody, you know, and that's what I was doing today, was at the end anyways. I was ranking everybody out for not looking, about how we control the weather and that kind of thing, you know. And then when the conversation started getting deeper and deeper on the weather thing, I'm pointing it out, and you know, no man, I'm showing it to you guys. You guys just choose not to go look, you know. And they still, to this, even right now, today, they're not going to go out there and look. I told them we'll go out, you know, put an EMC box on so they can block the sun out of their eyes and, you know, hurt their eyes. No, they're not going to do it. They rather argue about shit that's all bullshit that I can prove is lies. Then they get mad at me for calling them out on their lies. And I brought up the fact about the school shooting thing, right? The one I'm talking about, the Alex Jones one. The one he got sued about, talking about. So I said to my father, you know, skip all the bullshit stories, because there's a lot of stories we could go over, the money exchanging hands, the gun rights, what happened to gun rights since then, the gun sales going up higher like they always do during one of those shootings. Everybody's on edge, everyone's crying, everybody's for several years afterwards. So majority of the people who heard that story still to this day believe that that was all real. So what I asked my father and my uncle to go do was go to the footage, because they still got footage of that day online. You can go to it. And I asked them to look at the children's faces and read their faces. Shut the volume off. Don't listen to none of the scary music. Don't listen to all the hype and the sadness of the day. Don't, just shut everything off except for the video. And keep going back to the children in every scene and study all their faces. There's your opportunity. Because when you see, just look at their face. I'm not going to make an determination. I'll just tell anybody who's watching this video. Go to those days that you can pick it out and look at their faces. Forget about all the other shit, because there's a lot of shit. You know, the cops having a party on the trunk during the thing. There's pictures of that. There's, they got soda and chips and shit out on the trunk as if you're going to go to a scene like that. Come on. All kinds of nonsensical things that are in the video of that day. The fact that one of the fathers is laughing during a news conference just hours after his child is killed. I mean, there's all kinds of other conspiracy shit that you don't even have to go through. Don't waste your time. Just go look at the kids' faces. It says it all. The only kids who's crying in that line because there's very famous pictures of that and video footage. And during that footage, the only one crying is the girl who is walking right next to the cop because she's already been, for whatever reason, I'm not going to say why, but just her face is the only one. But it doesn't, you look at the rest of the kids' faces, They're just having a regular fucking day. They're not going through no shit. And whatever it was to make that girl cry, there's a couple stories out there that did it. But what I told my father and my uncle was that go to the Ukraine footage, because I got into some debates about the Ukraine footage. I said, go to the Ukraine footage of the little boys about 12, 13 years old, and look at the scene of everyone around him. And he's being held by a soldier and shaken by the soldier, by his shoulders, right? But yet they show him, like, starting to cry with tears on his face. But you would too if some soldier that was 3 times your size was shaking you and yelling in your face, right? So nothing on the scene required that kind of a situation. In other words, everyone else in the scene of that video and of that footage is very calm. And there's no reason to be shaking someone violently if nothing's happening at the moment, right? And it was supposed to be a bomb that just went off like 7 hours ago, or whatever the story was. And I pointed that out. I said, so whenever you see somebody, a cop or a soldier, standing next to someone and shaking them, take a look at all the other kids in line that are not crying, that are not upset. They're just smiling. They're just having a regular fucking day. There's nothing big going on, Everything's an act, and it's hard for people to believe. That's why you got to just show them the system, which is what I've been trying to do. I'm trying to show you the fucking system. Nobody wants to look. It's fucked up, man. It's fucked up. And not only does nobody want to look, but when they do look, they want to make something else of it, before they continue to look, Something that was already part of our programs, and they always want to make it about those things, which don't have much to do with any reality. So I got rid of my uncle because I was talking about the weather thing. Because I'm always on him. I'm like, we can go out right now. I'm counting the trails today. I got the camera rolling, and right now we're at about 5 trails for every 5 minutes that I can catch in my sky, and they'll go. It'll range, go up and down, depends on what they got going on. So I said, I gotta get a cigarette before I get into this. Anyways, I said, we can see it all for ourselves, and we can see how we control the weather. And the last time I tried explaining this to my father and 2 of my other uncles, they got into this whole stupid story about how they did a rain dance when they were a kid, and then the next day it rained, or that same day it rained, and all this shit. And I'm trying to have a serious conversation about the heavy metals and minerals that we use and we dump in the sky that are right in front of our fucking eyes. And these guys are talking nonsense, I mean, I love everybody, but sometimes I'm as aggravated with everyone else as they are with me. So I try to explain to them, that the natives of all lands had this technology for a long time, and then they know how to piss me off because then they start getting into talking about dinosaurs or whatever, and then or space aliens or some stupid shit that they read in a book somewhere, and nonsense that they have to use their imagination to believe, right? Because that's what it all is, all of it. And then when you show people reality, and it doesn't, even if the reality does match their beliefs, they're still afraid of it because it doesn't match their beliefs exactly. For example, the religions like Christianity. or even Judaism, or any of the Christian religions, pretty much. Nobody's gonna go to what I'm showing you and look. They never do. I can trick them into seeing it, but that's it. And then they go right back to God, and they're never gonna look again. And they go back to the God they were told about. Even though you can see the true creator's work, and you can see the false creator's work, and everything becomes more and more clear as you look, nobody wants to look. It's unbelievable. It really is. I was telling them guys about what am I at for minutes before I ramble on for nothing, and then the video's ended. 41, I think. Yeah, something like that. Camera's probably gonna die anyway. The Ukraine thing, they got three main buildings in the video. Hospitals. Okay, you got 3 buildings. Figure about between all 3 buildings, they can handle about 6,000 people, right? You can watch this video, it's online. You can go to Fox News and see it. But what nobody points out, and nobody pointed out, and hopefully I won't get no shit on this video. If I'm not showing the actual video, then maybe not. I can just talk about it. So this building gets hit by one of Putin's missiles, and one of the hospital buildings. We all know the video I'm talking about. And then, by coincidence, the 13 pregnant women that were in these huge facilities all happened to be in this one area that only got bombed, because none of the other buildings were bombed. There's only evidence in the video of one area taking a bomb hit. So, by coincidence, all 13 of these women happened to be in those 13 rooms that were right there in that building. What a coincidence. As they're bringing them out, they're not showing us any blood anywhere. They're not showing us anything hurt. But what they are showing us is that one of the women is having a baby at that moment as she's coming out. She's giving birth to make the whole scenario even more exciting. Right? So she's having birth, having her baby at that moment. Which I asked those guys, think about it. How much sense does it make, first of all, to be, the rest of the buildings were all fine. None of them were hit. There's no dust anywhere. There's no smoke anywhere. Nothing's on fire. So why would you, as a technician, take the baby, a mother having a baby, and try to drag her across a bumpy field, right? A lumpy field. You could see her bouncing around on the tourniquet, right? On the bed, and they got her bouncing around and everything as she's having this baby. It makes no fucking sense. No, you would not do that. You would bring her into the very building next door, which has not been hit and is fine, and has not been hit for several hours anyway, and that's what you would have done if it was real, right? But no, they don't do it that way. They give you so much ridiculous nonsense that you have to be some kind of television movie believer to believe this shit. But everybody believes it. I saw it on Fox News, man. Gotta be real. Okay.